Hi guys, in this video we will be looking at question 2. We are solving at question 2 guys. First thing first, if you're new to this channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe, like and comment. Right, so at question 2 we are solving the first equation. Solve for x, 3x minus 1 and x plus 2 equated to 0. So we're going to use what is called zero product, meaning that everything here will be equated to 0, meaning that 3x minus 1 will be equated to 0 and x plus 2 will be equated to 0. That's 2 marks. Let's get that beautiful 2 marks. Let's put that into practice. Well, for question 2, remember I told you guys that we're looking at 2.1. Then remember that we're given 3x minus 1 and x plus 2 is equals to 0. So you equate everything to 0. 3x minus 1 equated to 0, or x plus 2 equated to 0. So from here we will transpose negative 1 to the other side. That becomes positive 1. We will then divide everything by 3. Here we need to take 2 to the other side, changes the sign, becomes negative 2. Remember, if it's positive, change to negative. If it was negative, it will be positive. Then because we need to make x the subject, we cancel this. We are left with 2 solution. X is equals to 1 over 3 and x is equals to negative 2. That's 2.1.1. Then let's go to 2.1.2. Well, at 2.1.2, we are given an exponent. So it's 3 to the power of x or minus 2 multiplied by 3 to the power of x minus 1, which is equated to 3. Right. Let's put that into practice. So remember, you have what, guys? You have 3 to the power of x multiplied by 2 to the power of 3x minus 1, which is equated to 3. So first thing first, you have to split the exponents, or this one is already splitted. We will split 3x minus 1. This will be 3 to the power of x multiplied by 3 to the power of negative 1. Remember, we split it using the law. When the bases are the same, you add the exponent. So you are given something like this. So you have to convert it to this path, right? That's what we are given to do. So from here, we can see we have a highest common factor, which is 3 to the power of x. So we will factor out. What are we left with? We are left with 1 minus 2 times 3 to the power of negative 1, which is, remember, is equals to 3. Is equals to 3. Let's punch this in our calculator. If we punch this, what are we getting? Remember, we have 3 to the power of x. We are getting 1 all over 3, which is equals to 3. So we need to divide both sides by 1 over 3 to make x the subject. Divide both sides by 1 over 3. This and this cancels. What are we left with? 3 to the power of x. In this case, remember, you have 3 divided by 1 over 3, which is the same as 3. Inverse of this will be multiply, then it will be 3 all over 1, which is the same as 3 times 3 all over 1 is the same as 9. So meaning that here our solution is 9. Then we have 3 to the power of x. Change this to exponential form. That will be 3 squared. The bases are now the same. Drop the exponent. X is equals to 2. Thus, we know that here, in this case, we have x as equals to 2. So now we'll look at 2.2. Let's look at 2.2, guys. So as for 2.2, given that this inequality, which is a compound inequality, we need to solve for x in the inequality. That's 3 marks. Then we have 2.2, write down the number of integers that will satisfy the inequality. So let's put that into practice. Well, 2.2.1, we are given an inequality as -1 is greater than 1 minus 2, 2 all over 3, that's 2x divided by 3, which is lesser than 5. So what I'm going to do is to make my life easier. To make my life easier, I can take 1 to the other side. So take 1 to the other side. What I do in the left hand side shall be done on the right hand side, meaning that I'm going to say -1 minus 1. Remember, since it's positive, when it goes the other side, it becomes negative. Then we're left with -2x divided by 3. So if I take 1 other side again, 5 minus 1, what are we having here? -1 minus 1, that will be -2. We are left with 2x divided by 3. So what is 4 minus 1? 4 minus 1, that will be 4. So remember that we need to make x the subject. So let me multiply by 3 both sides. I'll multiply by 3 this side, as well as 3, as well as 3. So this and this, that will cancel. What is 3 times 2? That will be -x. That's greater than x. That will be -2x here, right? So here we have 4 times 3, that will be 12. So we need to divide everything by -2. So if I divide by -2 here, divide by -2, divide by -2. Remember, whenever you divide by a negative number, the inequality sign changes the direction. I mean, -2 divided by 6, that will be +3, which is greater than x. So we'll be left with x here. Okay, sorry for that. Also be left with, remember this was positive. So when we say 12 divided by -2, that will be -6x. So if I were to write it in a standard form, this will be -6. It's greater than x, but lesser or equal to 3, right? So it entails that, right? So that's 2.2.1. Then as for 2.2.2, they said write down the number of integers that will satisfy the inequality. Let me test using a calculator. I can use different integers. Remember, when you talk about the integers, we're talking about -1, -2, the set of negative and positive numbers. Okay, I'm using my calculator now. All right, what I'm seeing is that there are nine integers there. 9 integers that will satisfy this inequality. So you gotta check, guys, right? You gotta check at 2.2.2. Right, then we are at our last question. Our last question, guys, involves a simultaneous equation. This is a linear simultaneous equation since we're working with grade 10. So at 2.3, that's 5 marks. Solve for x and y. First thing first, we can see that we can fix the second equation since it's a fraction, and write it in the standard form. But for equation, the first equation, it's good, but we can either make x or y the subject of the formula. Let's put that into practice. 2.3, guys, remember, you are given x minus y, which is equals to 4. So in this case, you have x all over y plus, that's x divided by 5, sorry for that, x divided by 5, as well as y divided by 2, which is equals to 5. So our aim is to make is to change this equation to a standard form. So what we are going to do here is to find an LCD. If you find an LCD, 5 times 2, that will be 10. Then let's cross multiply then. If I say that 2 multiplied by x, that will be 2x. If I say 5 multiplied by y, that will be 5y, which is equal to 5. So I'll multiply both sides by 10. to get rid of a fraction actually here. So this and this, they are out. What are we left with? 2x plus 5y. What is 5 times 10? That will be 50. So we have this as equation 2. So let's fix this. It's either we make let's make y the subject of the formula. I'll be left with negative y. If I take x to the other side, it becomes negative x plus 4. Then let me divide by negative. What am I having? If you divide by negative here, you're going to have positive. Negative and negative, that's going to be positive. Negative and positive, that will be negative. So we have this as negative as equation 1. So I am going to say substitute equation 1 into equation 2. Right, substitute equation 1 into equation 2. Meaning that where I see y, I replace it by x minus 4, which is equals to 50. Okay, all right, sorry for that. Let me write it well. Which is equals to 50. So let's work out the brackets. Remember, we apply 4. 5 times x, that will be 5x. 5 times 4, that will be negative 20. Or if I take 50 to the other side, it becomes negative 50, which is, let's equate it to 0. So from here, we have 2x. 2x plus 5x, those are like terms, that will be 7x. So negative 20 minus 50, that will be negative 70, which is equals to 0. So let me take negative 70 to the other side, becomes positive. Then how many times does 7 goes into these cancels? To 7 it goes 1, so we put 0 there. Then we're left with x is equals to 10. So we have x is equals to 10. So to find y, let's go back to equation 1. Where we see x, we replace it by 10. 10 minus 4. What is that, guys? 10 minus 4, that will be 6. So this is our solution, meaning that our solution, we have x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 6. You can also check if if you plug in here x. Remember, if you plug in x here, since x is 10 divided by 5, that will be 2. And if you plug in y here, 6 divided by 2, that will be 3. That will be 3, and 2 plus 3, that will be 5. So definitely that's correct. Even if we plug in here, if I put 10 minus 6, I'm going to get 4. So I'm saying that now everything is correct. That's how, guys, you can tackle solving for x, guys. You need to know your algebra. Algebra is the key, guys. See you on the next video.